Well, hello and welcome to the Youth Men's 12-kilometer mass start 60 today here in Arber, Germany. We're here at the Hohenzollern Skistadion, and the sun is once again shining brightly. T-shirts are out, the over jackets are cast aside, and now, once again, we have athletes trying all manner of technique to keep themselves cool. It looks as though that might be a little bit more than keeping cool, but actually managing a potential injury of some manner. The athletes instructed that they must wear a national uniform underneath their bibs. They can't just race in their bibs. That is not allowed, and this man knows how to wield a lightsaber. Marcus Sklenarik getting his trigger pressure tested, ensuring that the rifle is clear, as Georgi Zyorgov is getting his done equally. Now, the trigger pressures must not be below 500 grams of pressure. Elsewise, the athlete will not be allowed to start until it's rectified. Hederich for Germany is the third German from the top. We have Simon starting before him, and we have Liebfert, one of the fastest men on the course, starting before him. Now, Matti Pinter among the successful Austrian team during the youth relay, claiming the gold. Pinter going on to win 12th in the sprint competition and suggesting his form is on the way up. He missed 3. So somehow, with 9 mistakes in the individual, missing 41, in position 41, I should say. Now today is not just a battle for medals, although of course that is massively important for the juniors and youths combined. There are 12 nations, 13 nations now present on the overall leaderboard. Latvia are at the top. They have 3, 2, 1. 3 golds, 2 silver, 1 bronze, and are doing unbelievably well. Suntans all round, smiles, anticipation, nerves will be jangling. These athletes now, having done all the prep that they can, all the hydration, all the movement of the body, and the coaches consuming their caffeine as we get ready for the youth men's 12-kilometer mass start 60. It is what it says on the tin. 60 athletes will be going around this course, 2 kilometers in distance, 6 laps each. We've seen them go around over to the high point, nearabouts where the camera is, many, many times. The long, arduous climb to be undergone in an air temperature of 14 degrees Celsius. That is a typical Scottish summer day. That is very hot, and I am overheating just thinking about 14 degrees, let alone having to race in it. So hydration is important. These athletes take on fluids during the race, and therefore have to be quite tactical about where they take on those fluids. Well, let's take a look now at the start list. Richard Losbergs of Latvia. He is in the lead. He could probably be racing up in the junior category and do just as much damage. But here he is, competing as a youth. Many more years of watching Losbergs entertain us at the very top, with Sklenary in second place after claiming the victory in the sprint competition, hitting the perfect 10 out of 10. And what a race that was. Losbergs on that occasion finishing 19 seconds back with 3 mistakes. The fastest skier on the day. Losbergs 44 seconds ahead of his nearest rival Lippert, with Madalena of France 45 seconds back, close to the German. And Sklenary in second place. Now Tarasiuk of Ukraine wears bib number 3. And some of the Norwegians, Lina Strand, wearing bib number 58, considered fortunate at the back end to be able to qualify for this event, but also making it interesting for us spectators as we turn now to the favorite, Richard Losbergs of Latvia, the sensation, the superstar, the rising talent, alongside a similar superstar, Sklenary of Slovakia, standing beside Tarasiuk of Ukraine. The machine on the skis, he keeps on pulling out the performances in terms of the overall ski speed, as Zorgov making it onto the second row, in large part due to his bronze medal in the individual. Hannes Lippert, well, he is going to be anxious and keen for a victory today in front of an international crowd, but largely populated and interspersed with Germans, as you see Madalena wearing bib number 6 on the second row. Well, this race precedes the youth women's mass start 60. And we only have, as the stadium announcer indicates, less than a minute until the start. Well, can there be any outside chances? Or is it going to go to one of the top 6? We do have Kjellberg of Norway, 8th in the individual, 5th in the sprint, missing targets. If he can pull it together, he's in with a chance. Pinter of Austria, another one who can do well. He starts bib number 23. Keep an eye out for him. Latvalati of Finland, another quick skier. Moments from the start. And so begins the youth men's 12-kilometer mass start 60. The sun is baking hot, and this is going to be a magnificent race. Many in there with an opportunity of doing something special, and already a fall, and that is Zorgov of Bulgaria. He goes down, and it's a painful fall. It looks like his ski is in a tangle. His shoulder or side of his body struck into one of the bullards, one of the V-boards on the side, and that looked painful. The worst possible start for the Bulgarian. He appears to be back up and in action. Well, let's get an update on how Zorgov is doing after that incident. It looked as though his ski became tangled just on the impact on the V-board. Those things are sharp, and those things can really pack a punch if you put the or fall into it at a bad angle. So not an ideal way to get the race underway for Zorgov, but take a look at this. It might be the Scottish equivalent of a summer out here in Arber, Germany, but the snow has been well preserved. The tracks are beautiful, if not ever so slightly slushy. And now an attack at the front. Well, it's hard to be precise from a distance this high, but I strongly suspect that Louis Bears is trying to destroy the field early. Well, he can absolutely do it. There is every reason to believe that Louis Bears could miss 6 targets today and still be triumphant. 2 minutes quicker than Tarasiuk of Ukraine in the individual. 45 seconds quicker than Liepfert of Germany, the next fastest skier in the sprint. This man is an absolute machine on the skis. He's only 16 years of age. He's racing some athletes 2 years his senior. And there he is, out on his own, taking advantage of his clear strength superiority. And it looks like Madalena, who's trying to chase him down, wearing bib number 6. Oh, it's Boulet. Now that really is an ambitious attack from the Frenchman. And an aggressive one at that. More sensible strategists and biathletes settling into their own race, not being controlled by the early pace, perhaps that being the better strategy. The Norwegian Kjellberg, 14.3 seconds back, sitting in 5th, not succumbing to the temptation to chase the Latvian. Sklenarik of Slovakia, the gold medalist in the sprint, deciding to take it easy. He finished 5th in the individual. He's 14.9 seconds back alongside Pinter. Now, a reminder that Pinter, let's take a look at the replay. Now, we've got a bird's eye view here, as that was Zorgov crashing into one of the V boards. It looks like somebody went down before him, and only after it was Zorgov perhaps catching his ski, smashing into the board. Now Zorgov is in 50th place, 37 seconds back. That is out of character for him. So that fall really doing a number on his chances of getting in the top positions today. Now, do not be fooled or alarmed. Louis Bears has not forgotten to get onto the mat. He's simply skiing through as all of the top 30 will do. They will complete 2 times around the 2-kilometer loop. And once they have completed the 2 laps, they will come into shoot. The back 30, from bib 31 to bib 60, will come into shoot on the lane that corresponds with their bib. And there is bib 31 on lane 1. Voda of Czechia, missing 2 straight out the gates. Riska of Czechia, he goes well to begin with, but misses the second. Nobody shooting it with flying colors so far. Ravalainen of Finland at the top of your screen with a chance of being the first to get 5 out of 5 with misses galore. So many who are going to go around that penalty loop. Einhauer now of Slovenia goes clear. Great shooting from the Slovenian with Lalovic. Will he get 5? He absolutely does. A great shoot for Lalovic, one of the few to have managed. And Winter with 4 misses of 5. Chukiski of Ukraine 4 mistakes. Now, take a look at the win flags. Even from this distance, you can see they're not but a flutter, suggesting that we have a lot of trouble just with the psychology of being amongst so many other biathletes, trying to control your process. Now, the times are not yet given, and that is due to the fact that only when they complete their next lap and come out will they get their time for the chute number 1. And that is at the same time that groups or bibs 1 to 30 will have completed their shot. And now, there is your lead. If this was a cross-country race, we would be going home. It would be done. This man is so superior on the skis. But the fact is that this is biathlon, and he has to contend with all kinds of demons on the shooting range. It will be a battle to hold his nerve, because it will be his race to lose. Now, making a valiant chase, we have Madalena of France, the 19-year-old, 3 years older than Luz Bears, attempting to cling on to the superstar Latvian super talent, the Olympian. Luz Bears finishing 32nd in the sprint at the Olympic Winter Games, putting into perspective just how much of an engine this man has. And now the young Frenchman, Madalena, on the chase, trailing Liebfert of Germany and Latvalati of Finland. The rest of the group opting to remain composed, sticking to their routine. Sklenarik hasn't made an attack. And now Luz Bears is going to have a massive advantage, as we already knew was the case coming into the shooting range. But what will this kind of pace do to his form behind the rifle? The two different disciplines working very much against each other, trying to hold the rifle steady whilst your heart is screaming and beating out your chest and your lungs are desperate for oxygen to feed the muscles. You have to calm your nerve, control all those elements, point and shoot. Luz Bears with 3 misses in the sprint. But a silver medal, nevertheless. Now, the first in to shoot from bibs 1 to 30. Luz Bears of Latvia. Well, there is a miss on the 4th shot. As you can see now, the Frenchman coming to the wrong lane. Luz Bears starting with a miss. And now, as though filtering in a pursuit competition, the Frenchman has to go back on himself. Madalena onto lane 6. Wrong Lena. Pinter now of Austria at the bottom of your screen. He started with 2 misses, one of the ones who could have done damage of the later numbers, but not going well. Kjellberg of Norway has his first miss on the 4th round. Nobody shooting clean and nobody going to be closing the gap on Luz Bears as of yet, until Scholl of Italy manages the first to go 5 for 5 alongside teammate Braunhofer of Italy. Raudzins of Latvia, the second Latvian to be up in the top 10 after this shoot. with that 5 out of 5. And now it's Latvia, Italy, Italy. A very welcome sight, with Italy still struggling to feature on the overall standings. Raudsens in 4th place, Kjellberg of Norway in 5th, and Jelinek of Czechia in 6th. We can see now that the timings are going to filter in as the athletes from the back end of the race start to come through. Those from bibs 31 to 60. Baumann from Estonia in 20th, one of the last to get in under a minute, and Zorgov with one mistake on the range, 1 minute 2 seconds back. A significant portion of that time due to the fact that he had a crash on one of those V-boards, the blue cones on the left side of your screen right now, straight into it, possibly injuring his ribs or giving him a bit of a blow to the body. Lusberg's taking on fluids now, an absolute essential in a race like today. These athletes need to stay hydrated. Richard Lusberg, 17.5 seconds in the lead. Now Lusberg's shot in a time of 31.9 seconds, losing approximately 7.1 seconds to Heckenberger of Austria, who had the fastest shooting. Lusberg's therefore may be losing 7 seconds or thereabouts on each visit to the range. And if that is the case, and if he does miss upwards of 4, somebody who shoots very quick, happens to shoot very accurately, then of course those are the ingredients that can see this man not be at the top. But it almost seems as though it's a far cry to imagine anybody else standing at the top of the podium today. And perhaps one of these two Italians are capable of such a feat. Scholl of Italy comes out as the 2nd fastest skier on lap 1. He also is 2nd coming out of the range. Braunhofer of Italy, also the 3rd fastest skier, finds himself 19.8 seconds back. And the course time on the data center reading the same as the time coming out of chute number 1, so actually not giving the course times as yet. So I will update you once that's refreshed on the IBU data center, a place where information is so easy to access, an absolutely fantastic platform for those interested in looking at all of the fine details and analysis that go in behind these incredible athletes. And speaking of incredible athletes, we have Scholl and Braunhofer now apparently skiing in a calmer manner. Certainly wouldn't go as far as to say easy, but to have lost from 17 seconds to 37 seconds, 20 seconds from Lusberg just till this point in the race indicates that they are not fighting for a gold medal, and understandably so. And to compete against this man with his current standard, to try and pose a challenge against him may be naive. It may see the athletes perform a routine that is unsustainable. Lusberg's now entering the shooting range for the 2nd time. He'll go down into the prone position once again. You can see the snow melt and its impact on the surrounding trees and land, but the track still holding up. And he's gained himself a massive lead by 8 kilometers of wind, not what the flags are indicating from what I see, particularly not down the center of the range. But Loosbergs now does have some changeable wind conditions to contend with. Well, it's an excellent first 3 shots until that 4th miss. Once again, the crowd with a somewhat lethargic cheer. And Loosbergs will find himself off the penalty loop and back onto the track before anybody else, even if they shoot clear. Now your chasers coming in together. Braunhofer on lane 2, Scholl, lane 3, Kjellberg of Norway, lane 4. Scholl starting with a hit, following up with a miss. And now there, Richard Loosbergs is off. Heckenberger of Austria, he shoots fast, he shoots 5, it's clear. Latvalahti now of Finland joining with a 5 out of 5, and Hurte now with a chance. Missing the last shot. Lipford with 2 painful misses. Remes from Finland with a possibility as Zurgov now making his comeback. He gets 5 out of 5. Zurgov could be back in this race. Malik of Czechia, he goes clear. Pilar, he goes clear. Tadasiuk, can he do it? Yes, he can. Ukraine riding off the momentum of Merkushina. Her gold this morning. An excellent shooting now out of shoot number 2. Heckenberger 24.6 seconds down. Once again shooting fast, 24.8 seconds, identical to his first shoot, to the 10th of a second, as Hederich of Germany now gets 5 for 5 in front of his home crowd. Now the Latvian team coaches having a confab as they look with optimism towards the post-shooting 2 standings. Richard Loosbergs, of course, with that early lead on account of his fast skiing. Björn Anders Eriksson, 9th. Thomas Hurte, 10th. Norwegians just creeping inside the top 10. That makes for 3 of them. But I'm impressed with Zurgov. He found himself back 37 seconds after 1.1 kilometer due to the injury or the crash. It remains to be seen how badly it hurt him. It looked sore. And now, coming into shoot number 2, 121 back, leaving 56.3 back. He's doing great. And it is often the case that athletes who have lower expectations are able to perform better. Very often do we see or hear from athletes who say, well, I wasn't expecting that today. We heard it from Alexandra Merkushina this morning. She wasn't feeling at her best. She described the pains she had prior to racing. She really didn't want to do it. And then all of a sudden, she has a gold medal around her neck in ahead of Wolf, the favorite. And now, how does that relate to Zurgov? Well, he crashed. The pressure in an instant is gone. If he doesn't cross the line in a good spot after a crash like that, anyone would understand. Therefore, those expectations are lower. And with low expectations can bring and reap surprising outcomes. Loosbergs, 20 minutes, 46 seconds, close to the high point of the course as we see this lovely swooping drone shot. Following your chasers. Now, let's turn our attention to Latvalahti, the Finn, 19 years of age, making it hard for Heckenberger to stay with the pace. Latvalahti shooting in a conservative time of 31.7 seconds. 40 seconds behind in terms of ski speed on the last lap. But now, in second place, within striking distance of the gold, should Les Bears get complacent. Complacency being one of the most dangerous mindsets a biathlete can find themselves with. It may look easy for Les Bears, but it is not. Kjellberg now working his way up to fourth. 48 seconds back, coming out of the range. He's lost 23 seconds in ski speed to the Latvian until this point. Nordlander in fifth. There's Zorgov in sixth. The bronze medalist from the individual. Tarasiuk, silver medalist from the individual. Now, "12 kilometers an hour wind conditions." You can see it in his hair. The flags don't indicate that strength of wind, but if it is that strong, Les Bears will do very well to get these targets down. A lot of movement in his rifle. Once again, the elusive fourth shot doesn't go down for Les Bears, but neither does the last. The last two shots falling away, and now 300 meters to be added on to Les Bears' time. As we can now see an opportunity for the chasers to get back into this race for the gold. Latvalahti now of Finland on the mat, 53.3 seconds down upon entering the range. Heckenberger by his side of Austria, first to get the shot down. A miss from Heckenberger. Kjellberg of Norway arrives on the mat. Latvalahti taking his time and getting all 5 shots. Now the Latvian will have company as Latvalahti gets all 5 targets and can see the lead. It is now within sight. Kjellberg of Norway with an opportunity but misses the last, and Zorgov once again gets all 5. Absolutely phenomenal shooting from the Bulgarian. Nordlander of Sweden with 5. Hertz misses his last 2 just as Les Bears did. And now Eriksson of Norway, he started with a miss but gets the remaining 4. Zorgov, 3rd position. Nordlander, 4th, and Heckenberger in 5th. Well, now the question will fall to Latvalahti as to how will he tackle this next lap. Kjellberg, 6th place, 45 seconds down, accompanied shortly after by Braunhofer, who's only had 2 misses on the day. If Latvalahti chooses to go and ski with Les Bears, it could undermine his ability to get the targets down on the last lap. Les Bears is so superior on the skis. Well, once again, it's something of a repeat. Les Bears attacking, making Latvalahti work. He's trying to put himself in a position where missing isn't going to completely undermine his chances of a gold. Latvalati, following his routine, all he needs to do is focus on the process. Well, so far, so good for the Finn, I should say, wearing bib number 28, an unlikely striker, alongside Heckenberger, who came into the range in third, leaves in equal fourth, or it appeared to my eye to be fifth. Both behind Zorgov, who wears 4. Lusberg's now working incredibly hard. His technique holding up incredibly well. He's missed 4 already. I speculated that he could still win this with 6. Now, 1-1-2 is the current state of his shooting. If he goes on to miss 3 on this next shoot, it can open the door for Latvalati. Now, Lusberg has worked incredibly hard, but that gap of 17.2 seconds has opened from 2.8, so 15 seconds of gain. Latvalati working very, very hard. And hopefully, at least for his perspective, not too hard. As we see Zorgov of Bulgaria still in there with a chance. 38.9 seconds back. All the time that he lost on account of the crash, he has regained since then. He shot 450 meters better than Latvia if you tally up and meters the penalty loops he's done. Kjellberg, he's missed 3, only 1 less than the Latvian. Finds himself in 6th, 1 minute and 2 seconds back. And Braunhofer of Italy, only missing 2, and with a longer glide, less frequency. 7th place in ahead of Eriksson, who finds himself in 8th. Now, Madalena of France, going well on the skis, but perhaps the ambitious ski time. He's the 2nd fastest on lap 3, 4th fastest on lap 2. It may very well have just been too quick for the Frenchman to stay composed on the shooting range. Lusberg's now onto the mat for the final time, shooting for the gold medal. Well, there's 2 misses. And there's the 3rd that we projected could happen. And now the door is open. Lusberg was shooting for the gold. He can ski his way out of all manner of trouble. But can he ski his way out of 450 meters of penalty loop? Latvalati now shooting incredibly well. He's got a miss. He's got 2 misses now. Latvalati will not be the athlete to depose the Latvian. Zorgov, is this going to be the comeback story of the century for junior biathlon? Can he get the last shot? Yes, he can. What a performance from the Bulgarian. He's going to come out in the lead. He's had the worst start possible to this race, and now he's gone clear at the final time of asking. Georgi Zorgov now with a bronze medal around his neck. He has an opportunity to get the gold. He's going to have a massive lead, but he's got company. Heckenberger has gone clear, and the Swede is also on his case. In 2nd place, we now have Nordlander of Sweden, who's missed 2 on the day. Heckenberger hot on the heels of the Swede. And now the overall top positions have entirely shuffled. Latvalahti of Finland in 4th place, but he has Luzber's on his case. Well, this really has changed dramatically, and 35 seconds that Luzber's needs to claim back on the lead. Surely that's impossible. Well, Pinter there of Austria getting 5 out of 5, and anything, no matter how impressive the shooting is from this point, is going to be quite as unbelievable as what we just saw. Complacency, challenging shooting conditions, perhaps skiing too fast. It was a combination of things that we will never know from a spectator's perspective exactly what was going through the mind of the Latvian. Huber now of Italy, managing to get close to the top. And I do apologize to the eardrums of those listening on headphones there. As you can see, Georgi Zorgov went down with a bang at the start of this race and has come back with a lead coming out of the final shoot. Absolutely remarkable, exceptional, brilliant biathlon. Wow. And there's the leader. It has been Latvia, Latvia, Latvia all the way around, lap after lap. Latvia with 3 gold medals, 2 silver, 1 bronze. It looked likely to be 4 golds, but now Bulgaria with 1 bronze, owing to this man's success in the individual. Could it be that they are now with a gold? Well, it remains all to play for. Luzber's is tiring. How do I know that? Well, he was 1.5 seconds behind Madalena on the 4th lap. He has worked incredibly hard. And there he is on the left-hand side of your screen, now right, getting in ahead of Latvalahti, who is managing to stay with. Now, wow, that is impressive. The fact that the order has once again shuffled. Nordlander was in 2nd coming out of the range. He finds himself in 4th. Latvalahti has caught up. Luzber's has caught up. Heckenberger is out of sight, the Austrian who came out of the range in 3rd. And wow, Luzber's is absolutely not writing off a gold. Zorgov is going to be kept up to date undoubtedly about the state of the situation, but Luzber's now making an attack, an immediate response from Latvalahti, who doesn't let him go, who shows that he's got a lot of spark left in those legs. Nordlander is not giving up. He's trying to stay on the heels of the Finn and the Latvian. And Luzber's now with a gap behind the Finn. He manages to reclaim it as we see the magnificent Madalena, one of the quickest on the skis today, take a look over his shoulder. He doesn't realize that Heckenberger of Austria is absolutely crumbling, and he can very well catch up with him. Simon in 8th, Malik in 9th. But this is the talk of the moment. Well, he crashed out at the start. He was down 37 seconds at 1.41 kilometer in this race. And now he is going to come across the line as the gold medalist. Georgi Zorgov of Bulgaria wins the gold medal in the mass start 60. with the most unbelievable race. And finishing shortly behind, we see Los Bears with 7 mistakes. Getting in the silver medal spot just ahead of Latvalahti, who claims the bronze for Finland. Los Bears displeased with a silver today. He could have won with 6 misses. But imagine that, being gutted with a silver. Nordlander of Sweden, a commendable effort, but coming across the line in 4th, with Heckenberger finding 5th spot with 2 mistakes on the day. And Madalena, the second fastest skier out there on the tracks, gets in ahead of Braunhofer. Well, that was one of the most amazing biathlon races. It had it all. Changes of directions, and now junior world champion Georgi Zorgov of Bulgaria. With only 1 mistake, whatever pain he has on account of the crash, he will certainly be covering that with adrenaline right now, as Eriksson of Norway, with his somewhat chaotic technique, crossing the line. Chaotic, but fast, nevertheless. And Kjellberg of Norway in 10th. The best result for Germany today, 8th position. The best result for Norway, 10th. Italy manages 7th, still off the podium. And Finland with a bronze medal. Finland now with 3 bronze medals. And now Lippert of Germany with 6 mistakes. He was up near the front at times, as was Scholl. He was in a podium position, was Scholl of Italy, but then the targets started to get a little bit harder to strike. And Los Bears, imagine that, being disappointed with a silver. I suppose when it's yours to lose, it can make it very tricky. We've seen it time and time again in biathlon. Even the fastest skiers can succumb to the pressure of a lead, and that's what makes pursuit competitions so interesting. It seems crazy that the leader from a race the day before can start with an advantage, but that psychological dynamic is so powerful that even the best in the world struggle with having a huge lead. And that has to be one of the most amazing races of the season, and one of the best comebacks from a terrible start from Zorgov. Terrible conditions at the end for a sprint finish, but they're fighting nevertheless, side to side. As we can see there, Harkusha come across the line, just cutting into the center lane at the last moment. Oh, what a shame. Zorgov almost gritting his teeth with sympathy for Los Bears. 1, 1, 2, 3.
On the first round, I missed my second, and then I went 0-0. I missed my last 2.
Zorgov just passing on the anecdote about his fault. Well, we see the later racers coming in. Boilet with adjusted time. The notification not yet up on the data center as to why his time has been adjusted. All manner of reasons, such as missing penalty loops, can see the time be adjusted, the firing of extra rounds. results in a disqualification, of course, so that cannot be it. Shooting on the wrong lane. Just counts as misses. And if the athlete doesn't click on to what's happened, they may not do the correct penalty loops, and it's a large penalty for that. Now, the fans have just seen one of the most amazing races, and we'll have yet another incredible race this afternoon with the youth women's 9-kilometer mass start 60. I'm sure you'll stay tuned for that. It's only around the corner. And it was an absolutely phenomenal youth men's relay, mass start 60. Absolutely phenomenal. Nikolov of Bulgaria coming across the line. He'll see Georgi Zyorgov at the top of the leaderboard. And I'm sure will be proud of his teammate, as Ravalainen there will see his teammate in 3rd place. What a shame for the Latvian, missing 2 in the final shoot. Not as catastrophic as Luzber's missing 3. He could have got away with 2 mistakes. But Latvalati really put up a good fight on the last lap. And what an amazing job from the Latvian team. Lauris Braka, the team leader, out here. We'll be looking at that medal tally thinking, time for a promotion. Well, how did you get promoted from team leader? What a remarkable job. Head coach for the men is Carlis Van Ax of Carlis Van Ax, but there's the crash from Zorgov.
Czech Republic, Spelberg on 10, Eriksson on 11, Matti Pinter ist auf der 12, Jakabina auf 13, Taras Tarasuk 14, Julian Huber per l'Italia 15, poi Hörde, Litta, Ciole, Heleri, ai posti 16, 17.
Well, for biathlon fans around the world, that will be one of the most exciting races that you have seen in a very long time, as it was for me. I do hope that I have managed to do the production justice. I've been Scott Dixon, and thank you all, as always, for the kind feedback and the constructive. As we see our last athlete, Siba, coming through the finish line, or our third last. We've got 2 more now side by side. And once again, I said earlier, the value of practicing sprint finishes. Now these athletes are side by side, and it is an opportunity we have trying to identify who these 2 are. Now they're putting the the essence of sprint finish really to play. As we can see now, Savanik coming towards the line. Who's going to pip the victory? Well, it's close. Could it be a photo finish? The crowd loved it. We saw Campbell right at the Olympic Games alongside Fabi and Claude doing something similar. And a moment now replicated at the Junior and Youth World Championships. So there it is, the youth men 12-kilometer mass start 60. The Gold medal belongs to Georgi Zorgov. And who better to claim the victory, and in what more magnificent a way than to have as bad a start as he did. Luzber's, the favourite, did the only result that could have seen him not claim the victory today, and it happened in the most nail-biting fashion. Latvalati, not on my watch list, in the sense that of course he's a fast skier, documenting some incredible times, starting so far back, 28th, he wasn't on the radar. And you might think, well, Zorgov would have won by more than 10.8 seconds if he didn't have the fall. But what is so important to acknowledge is that the fall could have been the reason that he got so centered. It's impossible to know. He missed 3 in the individual, was 3 minutes 23 seconds back then. And now he comes away as one of the most decorated athletes here. Well, what a race. It will go down in history as one of the most exciting here at the Youth Junior World Championships. It seemed like a foregone conclusion, but Tomas Latvalati was composed throughout, falling short perhaps on the very final time of asking on the range, but it was enough to fight for the bronze medal. What a battle he put up against Luzber's on the final lap. Luzber's claiming the silver, having worked so hard from the very beginning, so aggressive, so dominant on the skis, but all of that work that he put down in the early stages perhaps made it so difficult for him to stay composed on the range at the very end. He won the sprint finish against the Finn. And then Zorgov, there's the fall. He missed out on that board by a fraction. And he came back after a miss in the prone to shoot the next 15 rounds completely clear. An unbelievable performance. He was tangled up in his skis. He was down by 3/4 of a minute. And he came back up stride by stride to claim the gold. Well, come back shortly because we have the youth women 9 kilometer mass start
Georgi,
just after we hear from today's gold medalist.
You started the week here in Arber with the bronze in the individual, and now you close it with the gold in the mass start 60. How does it feel?
It feels hard. Bronze medal was hard, but today is harder. But I feel good here at this championship, and I'm happy for these 2 medals. I fall down at start and I lose maybe 1 minute, and I think I lose everything here, but after that I shoot only 1 mistake and make it. I make it.
Thank you and congratulations.
Junior World Championships Biathlon 2026. Ladies and gentlemen, again welcome for the next competition, the Youth Women 9 kilometers must start.
So shortly, the youth women's 9 kilometer race will get underway, 9 minutes until that starts. So stay with us for that, just around the corner. And then after, I'm sure you will be joining us for the World Cup. Contilati for the men's 20-kilometer individual.
Eine kleine Verschnaufpause und dann machen wir Musik und dann steigen wir ein in den letzten Wettkampf am heutigen 6. März.
Well, hello and welcome back to Arber, where we have the Youth Women's 9-kilometer mass start 60 at this Youth Junior World Championships. Let's take a look now at the course once again. 6 laps around this 1.5-kilometer loop. The mass start 60, seeing the athletes go out with prone, prone, stand, stand. However, the first 30 athletes have to do 2 laps of this 1.5-kilometer loop, therefore 3K. Whilst the second group, 31 to 60, will come in to shoot at the first time of asking. And then they will do a double lap the next time. The temperature is 12 degrees. Some might say it feels a little hotter out there, and the slushy snow is slow, but it's the same for everyone. Now these youth athletes are getting prepared, walking out towards the track, the Norwegian flag flown high and proudly there. Let's take a look now at the starting order. Strakova is going to be leading the way. And of course, she won the gold medal in the sprint and the individual. A super talent for sure. And now with a chance to win another individual medal. There's only 3 minutes to go until we're going to get underway. There are athletes starting outside the top 10 who are able to impose damage. Ouvrier Buffet, both of the twin sisters are capable of doing great things if they can get the targets down. Malikova starts in bib number 26. But outside of the top 30, we have Kokmankova of Czechia, who can do well climbing up the order. She, of course, finished in just outside, I should say, the top 30 in terms of the accumulated points from the sprint and the individual. And now, Michaela Strakova on the start line, on the front row, and hoping to make the gold medal tally 3. Anna Volstad, super talent from Norway, who has every possibility of getting up there and claiming another gold medal like Kalkenberg did earlier on today. Selina Ganner, fast and accurate. Atsamova, will she be inspired by what she saw from Zorgov just 15 minutes ago, where he claimed the gold medal? That's 2 medals now for Bulgaria here at this championship meet. And Fostenko of Ukraine wears bib number 3. She didn't start in the sprint, but she finished in 3rd in the individual with only 1 penalty loop. And it remains to be seen how her form is now, rested. But off the back of a cold now. The race is just on the horizon.
Check is done. Jacob, please confirm if all the others are done.
Strakova on the far left side of your screen. Volstad in the center.
Ready?
And they are now underway. The youth women's 9-kilometer mass start 60. The sun is beating down on this track, and there is a fall straight out the gates. It looks like that was Ganner of Austria. Bib number, no, Ganner is still there. Was it Volstad? The Norwegian. Well, the snow conditions are so deep and slushy. There's been another crash on the bottom of your screen now, closest to the left side of the track. It's chaos out there as these athletes attempt to stay with the leading pack, which stretches out immediately around this steep section of course. But another skier caught in the middle towards the back end, perhaps somebody stepping on their pole. Now let's take a look at this replay. It is Volstad. She clips her own pole, I think getting in a tangle with Strakova. Hard to see exactly what it was that went wrong there. But Volstad down. Could this serve to her advantage psychologically, as I think it served to Zorgov's advantage when he had an early upset? Of course, nobody would request a fall at the beginning so as to change their mentality going into a race, but the fact that it happened can sometimes not be the disadvantage it appears. We saw it with Eric Lesser many years ago in Ruhpolding in the mass start, when he was just playing his race that he wasn't expecting to enter after training. Came back to win, beating Martin Fourcade on that instance. An unbelievable performance. So now we'll take a look at where Volstad is. And the others who found themselves in a tangle will be trying to get back into the positions they found themselves in earlier on. But of course, not easy when there's 60 skiing on the track all at the same time. Well, the snow conditions, although slushy, have held up well. The IBU resisting the urge to salt too early on in the competition, and perhaps a decision that has enabled the conditions to stay this functional throughout. And you can see there the gap, even in this early stage, how much the track has opened up. And a bunch at the front of about 20 all together, but the accordion effect there as they hit the hill means that, or the effect that it has on the athletes, is the first athlete can continue their rhythm uninterrupted. If you're at the back of a bunch, you'll find that the skiers start to bunch up in front of you, and then it comes nearly to a standstill. So you're forced then to stop or move at a snail's pace and then get going again. You've lost your momentum, and then when the accordion or the group starts to stretch, you're forced to go faster and put in not a sprint but an acceleration to cling back on to that group. And the effect is that you're losing speed on the recovery sections and having to work hard on the hard sections. The net effect is that you are putting in extra effort if you are towards the back of a bunch. To get up towards the front in conditions like these is not easy. And now we see Strakova leading the way. And another fall, this time from bib number 16. That was Piller, the Swiss biathlete who works so hard, always attacking. Really impressive skier to watch. Now, once again, the skiers ski directly through the range. They do not stop to shoot, at least if you have a bib from 1 to 30. Bibs 31 all the way to 60 will go onto the lane that corresponds with their bib number. Vindish there, passing on information. Now the athletes from bibs 31 to 60 are on the map for the first time. Giordano of Italy with 2 misses early on, but Morton from Australia, excellent behind the rifle, great composure. She goes clear. Now Morton with a great shot next to France of Australia, who also goes clear. And Kaljuma of Estonia gets 5 out of 5, as well as Pelan of Slovenia. Great shooting as Benderer now coming in with 3 hits out of 3. 1 more remaining, and she will also have a full house if she manages. She does. Benderer also shooting clear. So we have 2 Australians, an Estonian, and a Finn out. However, you will see no times up on your screen indicating position. That is because those times will be revealed after the bibs 1 to 30 come through and shoot their 5 shots, and only when they start to come through, or these athletes come through the range for the second time, which they will just ski directly through, not shooting, that is when we will see the timings. And there is the bunch. 13 athletes of the 30 who skied through the range remain all together. Now, I would hazard a guess that Strakova is there at the front. Impossible to see, at least from my display. And there is another fall, and that looks bad. On the bridge, straight off the side of the snow. Now, these conditions are very, very trying. 13 become 12. And who fell there remains to be established. I can't say for sure. But there you can definitely see now Strakova up at the front, leading the way. And still in connection is Vostenko of Ukraine. Ganner appears to be in 3rd place on the left-hand side, with Vostenko in 4th place, 2nd from the front on the right-hand side. Horstad of Norway still in touch with Kalvi. 4th back on the left. Koski of Finland doing well to climb up the order. And there's Ganner of Austria trying to stay with the pace that's becoming faster now, Strakova. But on the far left of the screen, she started in bib 19, Juliette Oliva of France, 18 years of age, 33rd in the individual. And Oliva, one of the fastest on the skis, 49 seconds behind in the individual. And 8th place, 24 seconds behind in the sprint, just in terms of ski speed alone. So we know that Oliva is quite capable of staying with the best and beating the best on the skis. What she lacks in terms of achieving a medal here is accuracy on the range. Dodos of France, first to have her name come up on the graphics. They go into the lane corresponding with their bib number. And now for the first shoot for the leading 30. Horstad at the top. Geissauer of Austria, clean with 3 so far. Volstad joining after her fall. Geissauer the first to get 5 out of 5. And Volstad already playing catch up from an early upset on the skis. Uvier Buffet has a miss now. Horstad with 5 out of 5. Excellent shooting from her. And Volstad starting with a miss. Now, so few shooting well. Baumann could be the next to get 5 out of 5. Well, she is. And there they go down, nice and controlled, as Petrosova of Czechia. She gets 5. And now, Ylvi Geissauer of Austria takes the lead with Horstad of Norway in 2nd place, 13.8 seconds down. Horstad typically outside the top 10 in terms of ski speed. Dodos of France now in 3rd place, 30.3 seconds back, with Ganner in 4th. can see now many skiers who have come through having not gone through and lay on a map to shoot for the second time. Australia going very well at this point in the race. Morton in 20th place, France in 21st. And now up at the top we have Geistauer. Horstad still trailing, but chasing down the Austrian. Well, Geistauer, part of that victorious gold medal winning mixed relay team. He won that in great fashion. Only 7 spares used for the team over the entire race. Norway with a silver medal, missing or using 11 spares. And Finland claiming the bronze. Now there was the crash at the bridge, right at the base of the picture. And we can see now, as we get a nice close look at Geistauer going around the bottom part of the course. The track mostly in the baking sun. And Arber, one of the hardest courses there is. And it looks lonely out at the front for Geistauer. She's earned herself a comfortable lead at an early stage in the race. She's ranked 20th after the races so far during this competition, with Horstad wearing bib 9, Dodo of France 22, and Ganner, she's in 4th. You have to go down to 7th to find Strakova. She's only missed 1 target, but 37.7 seconds off the pace. She took 34 seconds to get the shots down. And Skog of Norway, she is 32 seconds to get the targets or get the rounds down. Now you can see the gap from 3rd to 1st, all the way down to Dodo of France. She can see Horstad in front of her, and Geistauer one more step, a distance insurmountable on the skis at this point in the race. Now the fastest skier is not knowable after the first, at least not through the data center, due to the laps being unequal, or at least not conducted at the same time by the athletes. So we don't get to have that insight, but we can see that Strakova came into chute 1 the fastest, with Ganner just in behind her. Ganner, of course, from Austria, one of the fastest skiers. Now, let's take a look as we turn our attention to Ylvi Geistauer, winning this race as she enters the range for the 2nd time to shoot prone. The last 5 shots in prone today for the Austrian. One deep breath between shots, a slow exhale and fall onto the target. Coming onto the target from below, she misses 1. Only 1 miss from 4. Dodo, with a miss on the 2nd shot, isn't going to close the gap. And now Horstad with an opportunity alongside Ganner, one of the fastest. They both miss the middle shot as Ouvrier Buffet of France Now has an opportunity. Strakova, can she get? Yes, she can get back up in towards the lead. As we see Skog of Norway going around the penalty loop, 600 meters with 4 penalties. Ouvrier Buffet goes 5, Olivia goes 5, and Ilvi Geistauer retains the lead. But she will not be pleased to know that she has Strakova in second place on her case. Now, Ouvrier Buffet is in third place with Dodo of France in fourth. And France now doing a really good job occupying position third to fifth. And we can see Kafka of Switzerland goes clear, and Roger of Canada also doing the same. As Strakova goes past the Austrian. And now finally, sixth position, 52.4 seconds back. Bauman of Estonia. And then the hard-working attacker, Pillar, comes through 59.3 seconds. Down off the lead with Horstad in 8th. Ganner in 9th with 3 mistakes. And Roger doing a great job from Canada, finding herself in 10th. And now we're back out on the track. We've conducted 2 of the 4 shootings, approximately halfway through this race now. And we have Geissauer of Austria in the lead with Strakova right in beside her, and Adèle Ouvrier-Buffet of France in third place. Bottom of the course, one of the few places in shade. They receive a drink, Strakova receiving the drink, and you can see the impact on the athlete's speed when they do that. They're compromising about 2 seconds, maybe 3, to take a drink, but the assumption is a net benefit, if not in the race. Then over the course of the championships, dehydration can really impact the bodies of these athletes, and a poor hydration routine will see them recover more slowly. And now this chasing group, or I should say, this leading group, we've got 2 French with Ouvrier Buffet and Dodo, and Strakova trying to stretch out the field, but she's not managing to put down enough of a pace currently to cause any of these athletes to fall back. Geistauer arguably the least quick among them. She's not finished inside the top 10 in either the individual or sprint. In terms of ski speed. And now this hill precedes the shooting range. They do have an ever so slight recovery phase as they come down in towards the mats. But it's only brief. And these conditions are grueling. Day in and day out of racing, these young athletes have to contend with these conditions, but they're going to have to get used to that over the course of the next 10 to 15 years. And And now Geistauer just coming past on the inside as they come into shoot for the third time. We have, coming into the range now for shoot 3, Geistauer in the lead with Strakova in second place, a 2-time gold medalist in both individual races, with Adèle Ouvrier-Buffet in third. Dodo of France in fourth, and Oliva of France in fifth. Only a flutter of wind to contend with. Dodo, the first to get a round down, and it's a hit. And there's your first miss from the French woman. And there's the second. Adèle Ouvrier-Buffet with a chance to go clear. None of the top 5 will do so. Strakova, 4 out of 5. Will Oliva match it? No, she will not. And now all of the leading group have misses, and only 2 get away with only 1. Strakova will be one of the first to get out, opening the door for chasers. Now, Piller of Switzerland starts with a hit. A great breathing routine, deep breath with the lower abdomen between each shot. Longer to get the last shot down, but it goes down nevertheless for Piller. She's going to join the top 3 now. Michaela Strakova goes out in the lead with Ouvrier-Buffet of France in second place. And then a turn of events as Piller of Switzerland finds herself 19 seconds down. She's in third place with 1 shoot remaining. Geistauer of Austria, 2 penalty loops on the last shoot, finds herself in fourth with Dodo of France in fourth. Ganner of Austria, once again, she is quick. She finds herself in 8th. And now, big opportunity for athletes further back to climb if they can get the targets down. Baird, she's got 2 out of 2. Can she get 5 out of 5? The American now only with 1 shot yet to fall. Oh, and Baird misses the final shot just as Červínkova of Czechia gets all 5. Skog of Norway now with a redemption opportunity, missing the last rapid fire shooting. Michaela Strakova of Slovakia is in the lead. She's only missed 2 targets today. 1-0-1 is the pattern, matched identically by Ouvrier-Buffet. And now is this out on the course, you can see the skis slicing through the snow, the deep grooves. Strakova came out of the range in first, 1.1 seconds ahead of Ouvrier-Buffet. Now it appeared from that last shot that that was Ouvrier-Buffet in the lead. Adèle Ouvrier-Buffet, for whatever reason, has gone past, off screen, we didn't see it, the Slovakian. Now that could be due to ski speed. That could be Strakova struggling with fatigue. But she's managing to maintain that lead now. Ouvrier-Buffet has now got a 20 seconds, approximately 4-second advantage over Strakova, the favorite. They have 1 more climb to ascend. It's a long climb at that, until they get into the shooting range. Now these are athletes on the cusp of being lapped. These are your leaders. Well, it looks very much that Adèle Ouvrier-Buffet has found form. She is making Strakova work very hard. Adèle Ouvrier-Buffet had the 5th fastest course time, 8.5 seconds back off her teammate, Dodo. And the French athletes, 4 in the top 5 in terms of ski speed alone. Pillar of Switzerland, she's doing a fantastic job. She's in 3rd place as she came out of the range. And she finds herself the 2nd fastest skier out of everybody on the last lap. Ouvrier-Buffet in the lead and with the momentum. Coming into the 4th and final shoot with Pillar of Switzerland, trailed by Dodos of France, wearing bib number 22. Behind her, wearing bib 20, Geistauer of Austria. Her best result, Geistauer, in this championship, 19th. Now, the battle for the gold medal is going to be decided in the next couple of moments. Adèle Ouvrier-Buffet casts a glance at the competitors as they ski in. Strakova now joins her in the shooting range. A miss from the Frenchwoman. Strakova yet to fire. She's taking her time. And now comes the rapid fire. There's a miss now for Strakova, but she's shooting quickly. She'll have gained time over Ouvrier-Buffet, but an opportunity now for Pillar, as Dodo has managed a miss and make that 2 now from the Frenchwoman, as Geistauer misses her 4th shot, but Pillar goes clear, 5 out of 5. Exceptional performance from the Swiss biathlete, who is skiing one of the fastest out on the tracks and now has the perfect 5 out of 5. Pillar coming out in the lead, and she has nobody on her tail. Adèle Ouvrier-Buffet down 11.4 seconds in the silver medal position, with Ganner, one of the fastest on the track, followed by yet another fast skier with Strakova. It is all to play for from silver down to 4th. Only separated by 7.4 seconds. Geistauer of Austria comes out in 5th, out of contention for a podium. Volstad now going well, 4 out of 4. And missing the last shot with Horstad beside her, missing a 2nd. Baumann doing a fantastic job, only 2 mistakes on the day. Up in 6th with Dodo of France in 7th place. Now take a look at the battle, we've got an attack. And that is a decisive move. It looks like Pillar is falling down, although so hard to see from that angle. Pillar at the top, coming out of the range with an 11.4 second advantage. Adèle Ouvrier-Buffet of France is down 11.4. Ganner down 16. Strakova down 18 seconds, but only 7.4 seconds in order to catch with silver. Now there is Strakova at the front of your picture. Ganner is on the right-hand side, inside of the corner. And Latvian being lapped, it seems that Ouvrier Buffet is at the back of that trio. When we get a closer view, we'll know exactly who is who. Now Ganner had a course time 23 seconds back on the third lap. She was 17 seconds back on the second lap. What happened here? Well, this was an attacking moment where it looks as though Ganner made a move, and I do apologize for the lack of clarity. Very hard to tell exactly who's who, but Ganner was 16 seconds down behind Pillar. Pillar going so well on every lap. Ganner losing time to Pillar on most laps. But is it possible that she's managed to make an early attack on this hill? Was it too early? We're going to get a close-up now as they round this corner. And you can see the chasing group, the three behind, which consists of Strakova, Ouvrier Buffet, and there is your leader, Ganner. She's coming up over the final hill. Strakova appears to have fallen back as Ouvrier Buffet is still in second, fighting so hard over the final hill. And now, Ganner. She was 16 seconds back as she came out of chute number 4. And she has fought her way into the gold medal position. It will be gold for Austria. It will be gold for Ganner. What a finish and what an attack on the final lap. Adèle Ouvrier Buffet of France now claiming the silver medal in this 9-kilometer mass start 60, but the sprint finishes between Pillar and Geistauer, and it goes the way of Geistauer of Austria. 2 Austrians on the podium, and Pillar just out by a fraction, having left the range in the lead. Strakova gave it everything, and look at that picture. You can see how much pain these athletes are in, how hard they fought, how exhausted their bodies are. And now they can't but gasp for air and wait for the pain to subside. What a performance. Now from Baumann of Estonia. The moment of realization. 2 podiums for Austria. Ganner has been there or thereabouts throughout, with a 7th in the individual and a 3rd in the sprint, but now a gold. And now another sprint finish. Stoller of Germany just coming in alongside Skog of Norway. 142 back, 0.7. Volstad coming through, 5 mistakes on the day. And Oliva of France down in 11th with Chervinkova in 12th. Still nobody outside the top 30 to cross the line. But an impressive performance from some of the minor bibs, or at least not as highly expected or anticipated. Petrosova of Czechia just in behind Lidström of Sweden, who finishes in 14th. And bemusal from the Austrian at such a remarkable last lap. GER made an attack going up the hill. It was almost unbelievable that she had gained so much time on Pillar. Perhaps Pillar had a fall. We don't know what were the mechanics that led to GER attacking so quickly. And I do apologize for not being able to spot precisely who was who from the drone perspective. But it was surprising and unexpected that Strakova would drop back to 5th. Just as a reminder, she came out in 4th, 18.8 seconds back. She finished 27 seconds behind, but she was only 2.8 seconds behind GER. So she actually lost nearly, or exactly, 30 seconds to GER just over the course of that last lap. So GER flew over that 1.5K. And now it's getting really congested at the finish line. As the stadium announcer makes the request that people start to move out of that area, because it's just going to get more clogged and clogged as sprinters come through. A great performance from Morton of Australia, 37th, 4 mistakes, had a great early start. Tierschmann of Canada, 6 misses on the day, 4 minutes 12 seconds back. Larsson of Sweden doing well, 4:21 back. And Kafka of Switzerland with an adjusted time, and she didn't complete all of her penalty loops. 2 minutes for each penalty loop missed, added immediately onto her time. Penalty loop taking some, in these conditions, probably 32 seconds. We saw 27 seconds was the time for one of the fastest skiers in the junior women's race. So probably more actually in these conditions now. I would say maybe 33, 34 seconds. So missing a penalty loop costs you about 1 minute 24 seconds if you forget to do one. Nobody hitting 20 out of 20. Fedorova going 19 out of 20, finishing 17th. And another absolutely amazing race that subverted expectations. And we've got 7 athletes still to come through. Austria now second in the youth medal standings with 2 gold and 2 bronze, 4 medals in total. The most out of any youth team now belonging to Austria. But then the medals overall, that puts Austria up into 3rd position, ahead of Norway. Now after their 2nd gold medal. And Slovakia is in 2nd place. Latvia in 1st. Berg of Denmark just crossing the line behind Malikova of Slovakia. Unbelievably challenging weather conditions out there. 13 degrees air temperature, slush under ski, the kind of conditions most intermediate skiers would not be able to ski through at all. And just take a very close look at the actual ski, the foot of these athletes, as it's being waved and woven side to side by those roughs and tufts of slush Patrasova of Slovakia, 50th. France of Australia, 51st. A lovely technique, despite the conditions there, from Fink of Belgium, as she comes across the line in 52nd. Well, what an exciting journey that has been for today's race. You'll be joining us shortly, no doubt, for the World Cup men's 20-kilometer individual, where you can see the fight between Botten and Eric Perrault to claim the overall medal as Kokmankova crosses and collapses over the line, exhausted. These athletes are absolute heroes to be able to ski in these conditions this hard, pushing their bodies to levels of hurt that 99% of human beings will never, ever understand, never experience. It's so hard to be able to justify that agony, but for Selina Ganner, it is easy. She will be buzzing from the gold, buzzing from the endorphins, and Adelaide Ouvrier-Buffet having a fantastic silver medal today. And the bronze goes to Geistauer, a real outsider guess, pillar of Switzerland. It just appears as though she went a little too fast on the course time. She had the third fastest lap 3, the fourth fastest lap 4, and then on the last lap, she had the 30th fastest. She lost 34 seconds to Ganner in one lap alone. So perhaps the pacing not quite perfect. The fastest skier today, Dodo of France, in the lead with Geistauer in second. Where did that come from? The Austrian, having not made the top 10 at all, found form today, and a great time to find it. Well, for the World Cup coming up in just under an hour, the men's 20-kilometer individual, I have absolutely no doubt you'll be joining us to watch that battle. We have a crystal globe fight to be contended for between Botten and Perrault. That said, there are several others who are capable of getting it. Emilien Jacquelin is in contention. He's on 105 points. Just 16 points behind Eric Perrault. So if Emilien Jacquelin wins that individual, he's relying on Eric Perrault finishing outside the top 3, and then it will go the way of Emilien Jacquelin. Equally, it's absolutely possible for Martin Odahl to claim the Crystal Globe in the individual. We saw the battle yesterday for the Crystal Globe in the women's race. Unbelievable. It came down to 2 points. Lou Jean Monod having the worst result of her season. But let's take one last look now at this race. It was so unexpected, changing, dramatic, and agony out there in these conditions. Geistauer absolutely triumphed with the second fastest ski speed on the day, pulling that form out of nowhere, fighting so hard on the last lap when it meant the most. Delouvier-Buffet spun around to shoot left-handed on the mat, caught a glance of her competitors coming her way, and although she shot well, 17 out of 20, it was not well enough. 10 seconds back off Ganner of Austria, the gold medalist. Ganner came out of
the shooting range. In third place, 16 seconds down off the lead. Climbed all the way up that hill with monstrous speed. And now she's the gold medalist here at the Youth Junior
Selena,
World
what a
Champs.
performance. Can you take us through the race and especially the last loop?
Yes, it was amazing. After the first two shootings, I didn't think I was going to make a good result because I already had 3 mistakes. And then standing shooting, I don't know, it was amazing. And the last round up there, my colleague told me that the leading runner was right in front of me, and then I just gave everything, and yes.
Thank you and congratulations.
Well, phenomenal victory, and I'm excited to enjoy the upcoming men's 20-kilometer biathlon individual. That will be all from my coverage. I've been Scott Dixon. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I'm sorry to leave you early while you watch the medal ceremony, where you can see the incredible Austrians sandwich the French women on that podium. Austria with Ghana in first, Olivier Buffet in second, and Geistauer in third. Now I must just pronounce that correctly before I do go. It's Ouvrier Buffet of France. And once again, thank you. I look forward also for the races tomorrow, where we'll have the relays get underway. 2 more days of competition, 4 more golds still to be won and fought for. But now the flower ceremony just around the corner. That'll be all from me. Thank you for watching, and until the next time, goodbye.
awarding ceremony with the IBO anthem.
Sorry. Thank you.
Biathlon Junior World Championships Biathlon 2026. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the awarding ceremony for the youth man master competition. The athletes will be awarded by Mr. Frank Steiner, IBO Executive Board Member, and Mr. Herbert, Chairman of the committee from Arber. Third place and bronze medal, representing Finland, Thomas Latvalahti.
Yep, we need to put this weight on camera.
On second place and silver medal, representing Latvia, Richard Luters. On fourth place, gold medal and world champion, representing Bulgaria, Georgi Chukov.
Bulgari, Unity! Bulgari, Unity! Bulgari, Unity! Bulgari!
On fourth place, representing Sweden, Elmar Nordlander. Fifth place, representing Austria, Simon Heckenberger. And sixth place, representing France, Nons Madelenat.
Mais en fait, le gars tout à l'heure a expliqué. Non, ils n'ont pas compris.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem from Bulgaria.
À qui le grand flou?
Tähän suuntaan. Tänne päin.
Allez Mario, regardez tout cas.
Come on. Nobody is sick or anything.
Entschuldigung.
T'as raison,
Too many languages.
médaille sur sa tête que l'inverse en fait.
If you know, then go.
Tu veux pas que j'aille sur les 3 premières, je reste sur les 6 comme ça?
So we can start again with the next awarding ceremony. Please, the IBO anthem. Tilda Todos, Michaela Strakova, Janina Piller, Ilvi Giestheuer, Adele Buffet, and the world champion, Selina Ganga. So, thanks to all, thanks ladies, have a good rest and see you tomorrow. The next start, the first start is at 11 in the morning. Have a nice rest, ciao ciao, see you tomorrow, bye bye.
Ciao a te.